Welcome back to Parsnips and Parsimony. I thought I'd bring you along for something that I'm trying new in the kitchen today. Might inspire you to try it. I'll let you know if I like it, but here's what I'm cooking. So I got this new cookbook called The Nourished Kitchen, and it's a bunch of farm-to-table recipes. Not everything will I cook, but this particular recipe sounded really good. Spiced lentil soup with roasted tomatoes, and it uses tomatoes, which I have, as well as eggplant and lentils. Last night I soaked the lentils, so these are all set for today. I just need to go out and pick the tomatoes and eggplant next and get that part going. Oops, I forgot a knife. Ouch, pokies. So this year I was doing some experimenting. If you guys have watched my, most of my garden videos this year, you knew I was doing some experimenting with the Brussels sprouts and how much sun and shade they need. And I did a whole row of brassica plants. Cabbage did outstanding over here in the shade. Broccoli was okay, but the Brussels sprouts did not do well. Gorgeous plants, but no Brussels sprouts. This is what I have for a Brussels sprout. Like right there, one. None of the other ones did anything. It's really weird, and I think it's because there wasn't enough sun on these plants. They say you can eat the leaves, so I'm going to be working on eating through these for the fall. So it's one of those things you just learn as you go, and you find out Brussels sprouts need more sun to produce Brussels sprouts. However, cabbage did excellent over here. So next year we'll probably be mosquito. Next year we'll probably be putting in more cabbage. Just no Brussels sprouts. The celery seemed to like the shade. That didn't do too bad over here. And obviously the peppers were very happy where they are. This summer has been a very interesting summer, and as I'm out here in the garden, it makes me think of how many hopes and dreams I had in the spring and how things just turned out so differently. And I think that's life in general. We make our plans, but they're not always what God wants for us. And I just think how much we have changed as just people. We had Charity getting married, and I ended up really sick with that tick-borne illness, and I really wanted everything wonderful for the garden, and that just didn't happen this year. Very thankful for what we did get out of the garden, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Today is October 3rd, and the tomatoes, this is pretty much the end of the tomatoes. I'm gonna see if I can find a few more, but I think we're almost done. Eggplant didn't do that well this year. Peppers were fabulous, and the celery did really well. So this whole patch is celery, and we have harvested quite a bit from it all summer long. Interestingly enough, that did really well, but the stuff on the edge, come on, there we go. The stuff on the edge here did not grow so well. Interesting, just an observation. So for other years, I think I need to remember to put this in other places, like here, and also in my raised bed. The celery has done outstanding. So I'm not sure why there was a difference, because they both have about the same amount of sun. Seems to be the same type of soil. It just was different. Before I know it, it's going to be maple sap season again. But the boys have been collecting wood around when trees drop and things like that, bringing it over here. Still need to chop this stuff up, but you can see we've got some piles here. Hoping to get a nice stash here so we don't have to keep running for wood like we did last year. Kind of this learning curve as you go. And I do know that John and Peter want to try to improve their setup here. That's on their agenda for this fall season. This is one of our volunteer pumpkins. I'm shocked a deer hasn't eaten it. We picked it a couple days ago, forgot to bring it in to the porch. And it's just sitting out here, but not bad for a volunteer. I want to get out to the garden and work, but today it's supposed to be into the mid-80s, which is pretty warm for here in upstate New York. And there's a lot of bees and hornets around. So it's supposed to cool down by this weekend, and I think that's when I'm going to really start diving into the gardens, getting them cleaned up for winter and just preparing for next year. But for now, I'm gonna just cook. We're gonna try this new recipe and see how it is. I started taking a few nutrition classes this fall just to be able to get some more ideas on healthy food and things like that for my family and cooking more. So this is one of those recipes. I wanted to give it a try and see if we liked it. Okay, so it says to half and seed the tomatoes, which I did. The eggplant is supposed to be peeled and cubed, almost have that done. And then 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to drizzle. Then we'll cook them for about 30 minutes in the oven until the tomatoes begin to brown a little bit at their edge. Lydia is just helping finish up this little bit of the... It's called spicy lentil soup with roasted tomatoes. We'll see. Might be a new favorite recipe. We'll see. So the tomatoes, the eggplant are roasting. The celery, I'm going to chop up the celery and onion and put it in a saucepan. And it says use clarified butter. I don't have clarified butter, so I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil. I guess that's probably my next best bet. And we're going to saute it for a few minutes. Add the spices and herbs and all that. I've never used coriander. It calls for coriander. I'm gonna try it. We'll see how I like it. I don't know. I've always wanted to try it, and the recipe has it in there, so some of you guys might be like, coriander's the best. How could you not know it? But I didn't grow up with coriander, so we're gonna give it a try today, see if we like it. No, it's coriander. They're like little bally seeds. All right, so little hiccup. I've been looking for my coriander. I can't find it anywhere. I knew I had it. I know I don't think I've ever used it. And I can't find it. So I just texted my neighbor, see if she thinks she has some. So waiting for that. Chopping up my celery and onions. Celery's all done. Daniel actually helped with some of that. And then it said one yellow onion. These are really small, so I'm just gonna use 2 small ones and slice that up. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, and it says the tomatoes should start getting golden, but they aren't. So I'm gonna give them another 5 minutes and let these keep cooking for a few more minutes and then pull them out. In the meantime, my neighbor just stopped by, and she had coriander. She said she absolutely loves it, so I'm excited about trying it. And I am just working on the celery and the onions here, and cooking those up. It says, I think, until they're softened. Stir in onion and celery and fry until softened and fragrant, 3 to 4 minutes. Stir in powdered mustard, cumin, coriander, and cloves. Oh, I gotta get cloves. And continue frying for another 1 to 2 minutes until deeply fragrant. Pour in chicken broth, Drop in bay leaves and stir and soak lentils. Cover and simmer for 20 minutes. So I still need to get the cloves and the bay leaves. I'm gonna add the bay leaves. I need to go find another chicken broth because it turns out it needs 8 cups. This said it was only 32 ounces, so that's going to be only 4 cups. I'm using what I have on hand. The recipe says chicken bone broth. I don't have that on hand. I only have beef bone broth, and I probably don't want to mix the two, but I did have this chicken broth, so I'm just using this up. Kind of a mini pantry clean out challenge, part of the reason why I'm cooking this. And yeah, it's supposed to simmer for 20 minutes. And the tomatoes and the eggplant are done, so I'm gonna pull those out. Oh, those look good. That's supposed to cook for 20 minutes, and then I'll add the tomatoes to it. In the meantime, a neighbor had given us a cornbread mix, again, kind of this pantry clean out thing. She wasn't gonna use it, she thought we would like it, so we're gonna cook that up. Mary's working on that right now. Yeah, I don't think you want mustard, honey. Are you hungry? You think I am hungry, Mommy?
Okay.
Well, it looks done. I think it smells good. The kids and I have had all colds for the last week, so I still can't smell. I think it smells good. I don't know about it. We'll find out. And then the cornbread is all done here. So we have cornbread and this and probably some leftovers. But well, I'll see what the kids like. I don't know if I already had one person turn their nose up at us and but we're gonna try it. We'll have other options in case they don't like it. Now we're changing gears here. The soup. Yeah, some people like the soup, some people didn't. It had coriander in it, and it had eggplant and roasted tomatoes, and well, some people liked it, some people didn't. But we are heading to look for a freestanding toilet paper holder rack for our rental property. We're trying to get that situated and done, and Charity is having a class up there for photography tomorrow, so we need something to hang toilet paper on. So that's what we're gonna go off to. We're gonna check Dollar General. That's our first stop, and hopefully they have one.
I don't think Dollar General has them.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
If I were a betting woman, I'd bet money on the fact they won't.
Well, I'm not a betting person, but we'll give it a 50-50 chance. Okay, so Charity and I went into Dollar General, and it turned out it was their 50% off all of their already marked down clearance sale. I thought I had missed it. And usually they don't carry it on until the middle of the week. Usually it ends on Sunday. But they did. So we went shopping. And kids, if you're watching this video, please don't watch it. Fast forward, because there's going to be Christmas presents in here. You've been warned.
Tell them why.
Oh, don't.
Just don't watch it.
Kids, if you get this far, don't watch. Turn it off now. Go to another Parsnip and Parsimony video. Do not watch this video. Okay, so we set up a table here at our rental property. This was the only place we could do this without the kids around. And this is what I wanted for the bathroom here. So put the toilet paper here, can store a couple extra. This will work perfectly. It was $8, not on sale, but it will do the job. So that's why I got that.
For tomorrow.
Then the clearance, all the clearance stuff, the dollar books were 50 cents. And then I think this was 75 cents. This one was $1.50. But some of these books didn't.
This one was 75 though.
That one was 75. Some of them didn't ring up.
It was really weird.
Yeah, it was really, really weird. Like these were $1.50. This should have been clearance. It didn't come off. But then I think one of the deodorants she charged me 20 cents for. And then she cleared some of it. It was really, really weird. But whatever the case is, these boards were 25 cents each, and these are stocking stuffers. These are really cool. My kids love whiteboards. So this one is all in fractions, and then practice. This one's all about telling time. So that's for 2 of the kids. Echinacea, vitamin C. The echinacea was 20 cents. Like I said, she was really confused, and she just started putting numbers in there.
More
yes,
when they were
like this was in the clearance. She forgot to clearance that. Not the end of the world, because obviously I think she over clearanced this one. Vitamin D here. And then I picked up dish soap for here at our rental, and then Charity wanted the yarn.
I got it actually more for like Lydia.
Ah, that's sweet.
You know.
Hannah. I usually do 1 toothbrush, and sometimes I get toothpaste, sometimes I don't. And I always put that in the stocking, so that's a stocking stuffer. Hannah has not finished teething, but I've used all of her teething stuff, and this stuff works really well. So this was supposed to be clearance. Did they clearance these guys?
Yeah, those ones were.
Should have been like $3.10, maybe.
Regular. Nope.
There was 2 of them. I think I remember seeing that.
$3.12.
$3.12 a piece on these guys, so that's a really good price on that. Now this was in the clearance. This stuff does actually work, and I've used it with the kids in the past. This was supposed to be clearance. She forgot to clearance this. Again, not a big deal. This glass cutting board is here for our rental property. It was $1.30, I think. And then Charity spied these boxes of macaroni, and they couldn't decide if clearance was the actual price or if it should be 50% off the $2. But whatever the case is, they ended up getting these boxes for $1 a piece. These are 2 pounds. So that was 50 cents a pound for the macaroni. And then this was a 2-pound package of northern beans. I think she marked that down to 75 cents. I think that's
65 cents for
65 cents?
65 cents for both of them.
Okay, and then the pinto beans were 65 cents. But isn't that funny? One's a 1-pound package and one's a 2-pound package. So those are good for Charity to use at her house for cooking. So everything came to $60 and
$60.58.
$60.58. Yeah, not too bad. So this is going to live right here. Except, yes, obviously the toilet's not in. Art was trying to put it in last night, but we didn't have a wax ring. So that's for tonight. And then I've been trying to get some of this ready. It's not going to be perfect for Charity's first class. It's a work in progress.